Hello, shalom, hola, and welcome to the Spiritual Life with Mystic Reverend Travis Tidwell, with my special co-host here, Ashley,
Hey, good evening.
and with my executive producer, my daughter Athena, who's also, again, a high priestess and sacred dragon, third level Reiki master, uh, reads tarot cards, natural medium.
She's the jack of all trades.
Yeah, she's a Gemini. So we don't have to say any more than that. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We also want to acknowledge this podcast, as always, the Lord God Yahweh, who powers everything in our life through Sacred Dragon philosophy, and our guide Hermes, Mercurius, Trismegistus, and all angels and guides present with us during our podcast. And we honor all the angels and guides you have with you as you listen to our podcast. And they'll be commingling with ours now. So welcome to the club.
Welcome, welcome.
Hopefully you've been tuning into our podcast and enjoying the content that we have to share with everybody. You know, Ashley is a high priestess in training and a psychic in training. She's every week in class with me.
Everybody better watch out.
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, there is competition coming. Make note about that. We also want to acknowledge everybody out there in YouTube too, on this podcast, as well as Spotify, iTunes. You could be listening to us through different stations out there. But today, in this particular podcast, we're talking about the mysticism of Qabala with the 10 stages of consciousness. And that's why I call myself a mystic, you know.
And I'm glad we're talking about this because I know I've been asking you to explain what you base your foundation of your workings on, and this is definitely a huge chunk of it. So I'm excited that you're going to get to share a little bit
Thank you.
of you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I'm a double Sag, and Walt Disney was a double Sag, Bruce Lee, and all these other people. So they say double Sages for sure are inventors and creators of new knowledge and philosophy. And God bless Pam Chompy, bless her soul. God bless her soul, her spirit, her loved ones. One of my best astrologers and friends I've had for years. Told me that I was here to invent new things, and if I had a new feeling about what life is or what it should be or blah, blah, blah on that level, you know, my own philosophy, she goes, you should share it.
And look what you're doing.
And look what I've been doing, yeah.
Walking the walk.
I definitely walking the walk, man.
Yeah.
My feet are sore, okay? Help me out here now. No, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful journey, but, you know, it became beautiful knowing the science of Yahweh. You know, when I don't want to say when I found Yahweh, but when Yahweh found me, I feel like Yahweh, the Lord God himself, picked me up out of the waters. You know, the people we all get lost in. We're controlled by we're in this wave we can't control. You know what I mean? And that's where my life was. You know, I was at a big time crossroads. And so it was my first, actually, and it was weird because my first book on the mysticism of Qabala was the Christianized, which I don't promote. But I do promote, I guess I'm a hypocrite because on one level, I have to honor Francis Barrett, God bless his soul, his spirit, and his loved ones, who wrote the book The Magus, which is a Christianized book on Qabala. A lot of great information in there, really, really is. I don't carry a lot of the Christian morals and values that he does on some level, possibly. Not to say that they're not good values or morals, you know what I'm saying, but I just had a different feel. Because I'm not highly principled to a fault. I'm not going to judge people, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But so we didn't resonate on some level, but the information was valid.
So a little too structured at the same
A little
time.
bit too much Christ-like. I mean, I love Jesus. I love the Christ. You know, he's my brother. He's not my God. You know what I'm saying? I love his compassion and mercy. He's my master Reiki teacher for healing and love. But we're talking the science of God, not the science of Jesus. You know? And so I kind of felt that even though all of his works, and you can only get that book from England, you know, were powerful and true. Everything in that book was true. And he talks a lot in that particular book about Qabala, about the sacred animals that have been consecrated to God, which, you know, nobody really ever thinks about, and the different hierarchies of angels, and also the knowledge of black and white magics, because, you know, he talks about the different demons and evil spirits out there that, you know, live in the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying?
And this all ties into the mysticism of
It does.
Qabala. Okay.
Yes, because when you look at traditional Qabala, so, you know, we have three different strains right now of Qabala, and I guess I'm going to throw a fourth one in there. The traditional Qabala is spelled with a K. And then we have the Christianized Kabbalah spelled with a C. And then we have the Mysticism of Qabala. I had to slow that down now, which starts with a Q.
And what's the fourth one?
Would be dragon-sized Qabala.
Dragon-sized?
Yes, the dragon has came here through the galactic center for you this evening so that we could all have a better positive spiritual experience and bring new enlightenment.
Dragon meaning you.
Specifically meaning me. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Me.
Just making sure.
Me out there. Me. No. No, it's true. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back or, toot my horn. I'm very humble about who I am.
Yeah.
And why I'm here. I look at life a lot differently than spiritual leaders here today. But it's all because I've been, introduced to the mysticism. When you find the mysticism of the Kabbalah, that's where the power is.
Now, did you fall into that by choice, or how did?
Well, that was part of my spiritual awakening.
Yeah, how did Spirit guide you into?
Actually, I met a girl who was a black witch.
You could have went into like any route possible.
No, you're right. And then they told me when I became spiritually conscious, I first got my first book on Kabbalah, which was Frances Barrett, to a girl who was beautiful, but she was a black magic practitioner. She belonged to the Anti-LaVey Satanic Church in San Francisco, and I didn't realize it.
Ooh, spooky.
I know, and I was moving her one day and picking up a box, and this book fell out, and it was her diary. And I just had to
you weren't, no, don't do the jerk thing and tell me what you're about to tell me.
I had to look at some kind of journal. I'm not sure how much of a diary, but it was like a diary journal. And I opened it up.
Still not yours.
Still not mine, but I saw the first thing I saw was the Anton LaVon propaganda and paperwork in it, which really blew my mind because I never, I've seen his book out and whatnot because he has his own Bible. And so that kind of threw me off a little because she was so beautiful. And I remember somebody warned me about dating this girl, that she was a real witch inside, So
yes.
She was a black witch is what she was. And in the book she talked about how maybe, there were things that happened that maybe she wasn't nice to people. I'm saying? Things like that. So
you're like, well, this kind of like reinforces those theories, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I felt that very, very strong. There was some kind of dark connection there.
When you know. Sometimes
when
you're just
vibing. Yeah, and so that was my first Kabbalah experience, possibly. But the books I have since then, are just as intricate. Most books on the mysticism of Kabbalah are going to be all very much the same, different takes on philosophy.
Oh, on philosophy, because I wanted to say, like, what's the premise? Like, what is it based off of?
Well, in the original mysticism, as well as the original traditional Kabbalah, there's 10 stages of consciousness here. That's why in the original Kabbalah, as well as in the mysticism, they talk about the 7 planetary angels and days, and and how there's that kind of vibration there that's important to know. And so they didn't expand too much out of our immediate galaxy. So in fact, I have a diagram here, and
let me take a look at this.
Let me show you this real quick here.
I'm a visual
those of you
person.
Who are not on YouTube, go to my YouTube channel, Travis Tidwell Podcast, and you'll see what I'm holding up right now for the viewers on YouTube. Is a diagram of the Tree of Life, which is valid.
Oh, that's very detailed.
Yeah, of course it is.
Can I grab another one so I can take a look? He has a whole manila folder of these.
For all my students. Yeah, I show this to all my students. This is all universal information, you know what I'm saying?
And Chav, do you mind kind of talking about like what your group is about, and how it ties into this?
Well, first of all, because, I do have a different philosophy about the mysticism of Qabala. And I am Yahweh connected. I'm a son of Yahweh here on this planet trying to promote my Father in heaven. The 10 Commandments coincide with these 10 stages of consciousness. So to really receive this, you're going to have to be worshiping God straight. And you're going to have to be living and know the 10 Commandments by heart to really get the most out of this information. So each consciousness that's here, we can attain except the top one. So we can only attain 9 stages of consciousness here. Now, we have the consciousness of the kingdom, foundation, victory, glory, severity and strength, mercy, wisdom, understanding. But the crown, Kether, that's the unknown. Can you see that, Dina?
Where Metatron resides.
Oh, he's going to be in the Ein Sof, the top. Kether.
Yes, I see.
Is he there?
Yeah, he is.
Thank you.
It looks great.
Yeah, because
There's a
he
lot of
is,
information on
Metatron is the top angel. You got that, honey? Okay. Yeah, I'd like some new equipment. I hope somebody out there with some big money would donate today.
And if you guys are listening to
light some
Spotify or
sage.
iTunes, if you can take a look at Travis Tidwell at podcast on YouTube, and you'll be able to take a look at this diagram, because for myself, I would need something like this. I would not be able to remember.
And you can take that home with you tonight.
Oh, thanks. You're always gifting me with stuff. I really
Of course, she's my
appreciate it.
spiritual sister here. Yeah. No, I mean, if you got it, you give it. If you don't, you can't. Honestly, I can make a photocopy of that. So it's no big thing. But there's many different books out there who give you the 10 stages of consciousness as we have here on the table. And each consciousness in this galaxy is important for us to attain. So when people say they've been here 200 times or 300 times, I really don't believe it. In the science of God, of course, the Dalai Lama can reincarnate depending upon what starseed you are, but in the Adam and Eve consciousness, see, again, I have to go back to my first podcast, my second podcast, we live in the Adam and Eve consciousness. And because of that, we're bound to the Adam and Eve rules. Now, if we were born into the Ganesh and Shiva consciousness, then it'd be different. We'd be in Hinduism, and it'd be a different vibration of reincarnation, and we wouldn't be having this conversation, because this is a culture who also believes that you can reincarnate in animals, which is cool. I'm not saying that can't happen, but as far as an Adam and Eve seed, no, it's not going to happen.
I also have heard of animals reincarnating as humans as well.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
Bad luck.
As long as they have the will to want to become human, something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm not buying that story.
I feel like I think it
and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you what the reality is here, honey. Okay. We have a different. All animals have a heart, mind, soul as we do, but they don't have the intellect of soul that we have. They don't have that type of vibration. It's the animal itself is born only for the lower self, the flesh. It does have a spiritual body, and it will go to the different realms and dimensions, maybe even go back to where it originates from, because each animal here would originate from its own starseed. But, maybe in India, if you're in that consciousness and in that bloodline, yeah, sure. I would say anything's possible. Mm-hmm. But I have to go back to me being limited, in my Adam and Eve consciousness, because in everything that the Torah talks about, they really don't talk about reincarnation. Nobody really does, except for these other cultures who have true wisdom. Don't get me wrong. I could be the one in the far left-hand lane not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. But in my philosophy, for again me living in the Adam and Eve consciousness, I know that yes, I can reincarnate. I'm sure there's valid information there for reincarnation. The mysticism proves reincarnation. And that's what I like that also, because now we're talking really quantum physics.
So reincarnation is not in the Qabala.
It is
in the traditional one.
It's so complicated. I don't think that you can just readily look at it or see it. I'm not a specialist in that, but from what I've seen from reading the regular Torah, it's just reading the Old Testament, so it really doesn't talk about that. In the original, see, that's the other thing. The Torah is the original Bible. It's the original Old Testament that we have in this new King James version. Mm-hmm. We have the New Testament and the Old Testament. Well, the Old Testament is a history book. That's all factual, real information. The New Testament's, are you fucking joking me? I'm not going to bet my life on that book. Honestly, I love God and I love Jesus. And don't get it twisted. That's a book made by man. So no, the Old Testament. That's why I'm OG, sweetie. That's why I live by the 10 Commandments. Mm-hmm. There's angels here listed that are in these different stages of consciousness to us to connect to help us and to get to this consciousness. And there's no other system I feel that is as important as this one.
So when you say get to this consciousness, so could you explain, just starting from the bottom at Malkuth Kingdom, and is that where we start and then we work our way up?
Well, of course. And look what happens in the kingdom. We have discrimination to deal with, and, just this dark energy, laziness, non-active. I think that's called Avaris.
So can you achieve this all in one lifetime?
Of course.
Okay, I'm not sure. Like, some people take multiple lifetimes.
Some do, and that's why. See, no, I'm glad you brought that up. So in the dragon philosophy, is that I tell people, and I'm a firm believer of this, and know really from what my guides have shown me and Hermes himself, that really you're going to only reincarnate here 9 times. Are you with me, Athena? She knows this by heart, don't you? You'll be getting readings from her after about 6 months. She's 18. She's going to be legal and free to counsel all you people out there also. But yeah, so no, you can, but we come back, honestly, probably not everybody does, depending on their mission. Mm-hmm. But some people can for sure. So I give that to the Dalai Lama.
So there's absolutely no way to ascend from out of this tree of life until you've conquered all of these consciousness.
Well, that's what
stages.
That's the philosophy to some degree. Mm-hmm. It's like cats having 9 lives, right? Remember that phrase, cats having 9 lives?
Yeah, I'm aware. Not aware, but what do you call it? Familiar. Sorry.
Yeah. No, and so same thing for us.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I never knew that growing up, and my mother was a walking spirit. And I know in the 10 stages of consciousness, each consciousness makes me more conscious of who I am and the world I'm living in, so that I can get the most out of where I'm at and control my destiny.
So there's not like a certain step-by-step guide to this. It's like you can jump around.
Well, no, you're
all over the...
Well, you can for sure. Whatever you're feeling, but as a teacher, I would take it into the stages of going from, Malkut to Yasad, and then from Yasad to Yad, and then from Yad to Netzach. You know what I'm saying? That's the way. There's different paths to go.
Yeah, so I guess when you were talking about paths, could you explain how does one get on this path and what they have to do to be... Okay, so if I conquered the kingdom and I want to get to glory, the Had, it's like what steps do I need to get there? Well,
you look at the foundation, the God name, the worshiping.
So it's like the worship, the name.
Yeah. Let's go to foundation real quick.
Okay.
That's the moon. That's Yasad. Mm-hmm. Can you smell it?
Yes.
Lighting some sage here for everybody. Yasad represents our foundation. The God name is El Shaddai El Chai. The angel is Gabriel. The cherubim is a spirit. Its vibration brings you independence. On the positive side, on the negative side, idleness. Okay. Mm-hmm. Gives you the tone C, which is the musical tone that coincides to that planet. The color, herbs, and incense. The chakra of the body it's related to. The day of the week, and it's the moon.
So for somebody that's not familiarized with this,
that's a lot of information.
Yeah. So for somebody that's not familiarized in this situation, it's like, okay, this is the angel that I need to be speaking to.
Yes.
This is the
God name.
The God name. Okay. And then what is the?
And if you were at what was our last podcast? It was. Let me see what I got here.
So then I'd be focusing on the third eye. Like, would I be meditating on that?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
And you'd try to be vibrating that name properly. Now, go back to our podcast 36, everybody, and you can get more vibration about God's sacred names, because we talked about that. But honestly, this is the time for everybody to become more conscious of their surroundings, who they are, what their potential is. But they're not going to do that just by doing nothing. They're going to have to educate themselves. And, I did this. This is all old. This is 32 years ago. I was at the Mystical Dragon today, real quick. Mm-hmm. And told her, that she missed the Keys of Enoch last night, which is a book we study out of. And she was disappointed. But she asked me how long I'd be doing that. I said, 21 years. And she goes, and I go, and I started it here at the Mystical Dragon. She goes, no way. I go, I started that here 21 years ago. And I thought, my God, am I that old? Athena, help me out here, man. Am I that old? I'm that mature now. I will never be old. But anyway, so, that's the vibration of how you're going to raise your consciousness, is to find out where you're at. One of the things that always hit me growing up on the Bible level is this phrase, first ye seek the kingdom and all else shall follow. There's that phrase. I'm not sure where that comes from. If somebody can email me that'd be great. And you can email me at TravisTidwellPodcast@gmail.com. And you can also get a hold of my lovely co-host here, Ashley.
At the Pisces Life Coach on Instagram.
Instagram, baby. You know,
Yes.
I'm one sacred dragon no matter where I go.
What was
okay?
that? What was that quote you just said so I can look it up?
Gosh, I have so much on my mind right now I want to talk about. First ye find the kingdom and all else shall follow.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to do some research here real quick. She's got her phone. She's really good at this stuff.
I have to research everything.
I'm the old guy in the room.
And then what was the second part of that?
What was that again?
What was the second part?
What did you say?
First you find the kingdom.
And all else shall follow.
And all else.
Shall follow, come. Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Anything come up?
Oh, Matthew 6:33.
Damn, she's good. Thank you so much. Read that out, sweetie.
Oh my gosh, I feel like, let's see.
Now, this is where the mysticism, for me, comes in many different ways.
It depends. There's like a New International, the New Living, the English Standard.
Who cares? Just pick one of them.
I wanted one that was close to what you just stated, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all the things will be given to you as well.
Okay, first seek the kingdom, right? Is that what he said?
Yes.
Say that again?
But first, seek the kingdom or seek his kingdom. There's a few different translations.
Okay. Yeah, so when I think of that phrase, I don't think of his kingdom as being just his. It's our kingdom, and most people don't realize that Earth is created as a kingdom, and it's supposed to be a kingdom for us.
We need to start respecting it as a kingdom.
So when that actually, and I was a minister at a church, see, so that phrase right there, that proverb in some way would make me say that, I need to seek the kingdom and the knowledge of earth, because where am I? Where am I? And Travis, I'm like a triple fire sign north in my chart. I mean, I'm all over the map, but, first you seek the kingdom. Adonai Haaretz,
And that's who I would be.
Oh, yeah.
That's God's sacred name for this level of consciousness.
Yes. And we say that with only the highest feeling of love and praise.
How about if you're not feeling like in a mood of love and praise and you're just like, I just have to fake it till I make it? Or
well, buy the book Simplified Qabala Magic by Ted Andrews and read it. And that's going to change your life. And everybody who study unders me buys that book and studies that. And we study that together in groups sometimes. So there's
But how about with the people that don't have it though? So it's just like,
well, start talking to your angel. Just if you don't know who your angel is, email us. Honest, I'll give you that information for free. And I'm valid at what I tell people. And if you're looking for that information, go to the website, travistidwell.us, and check it out. It's going to be active after the 20th of this month, but you can go there now and see the page,
So do you feel like you've achieved all of these stages of consciousness?
I've definitely felt them all. I feel like for myself, I'm still learning wisdom. I have pretty good understanding of everything around me. I do show a lot of mercy. I do have severity and strength, and nobody knows that.
So going back to the mysticism of Qabala, and this whole situation, or the whole map, I should say, is the tree of life. Now, how, in your own words, how would you describe the tree of life?
I think you hit it right on the head. Map.
It's just a map.
It's a map. It's a map to elevating your consciousness. It's a map to help you control and change your destiny if you want. We talked about that earlier before the podcast where I was hanging out.
Yes.
And we were talking about, happenstance, the path you take and how you get here. And is everything predestined, And I believe, we're changing things as we go. Yeah.
Sprinkled in there.
One day I might want to go left rather than right. My angel might be saying, go left, Travis. I'm hell with that. It's just like, how many times have we picked a choice with the relationship? And the lower self says yes, and the higher self is saying no. No. How many times have we got that message from our higher self? Don't go there. Don't do that. It's amazing. When I was actually very intuitive growing up, and I remember friends would come to my house and go, "Hey, man, would you like to go fishing tonight?" And I go, "No, I'm not going to go fishing with you creeps, because they're idiots." And then somebody gets shot or something. It's
my gosh.
It's always
fishing.
Yeah, I know exactly my point. And so it's amazing the stuff I used to get to intuitively talk about growing up, but I never knew it was intuition. I always looked at it as just being lucky. And even today I just feel like I'm lucky. That's it. I know who I am. I'm a double Sag, which means that I'm a 27 degrees rising, And for all of you who are 27 degrees rising Sag, you need to contact me immediately. We need to have a
He's
galactic
serious.
party. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh hell
he's
yeah.
serious.
Bring it. It's all about that West Coast magic in the house.
How about if they're on the East Coast then?
I love you all, brothers and sisters. You bet, man. No, this is a world thing. If you're 27 degrees rising Sag, you should contact me. It'll be an interesting conversation. I am having total recall of the Galactic Center. And if you are too, contact me, TravisTidwellPodcast@gmail.com. But yeah, if you're really interested in elevating yourself, controlling your destiny, if you're lost out there feeling shaky, and I was, when I found this information, I was out of it. And this girl introduced me to this book. I read it, and it changed my life. Mm-hmm. And when I read that book, I knew I was home. I mean, that was me. I was like, oh, man, I found myself today. Mm-hmm. How many people have found themselves? And let me tell you something. I was a custom car painter before that in the automotive trade, and I was happy. I was happy. I was content. There was no thought of a change until one day, all this awakening happened to me, and it just changed my life. And all of a sudden, boom, this is who I am, and this is what feeds me. This is what I eat. This is what's empowering me. And
that's where you felt the connection to source. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, I can never talk anymore on these things.
No, it's source for sure.
Yeah.
No matter what name you want to put on your devoted deity, it's source for sure. The source is male, female. And so in my philosophy, you're not going to live here more than 9 times unless you're a walking spirit. In my philosophy, you can hit the 9 stages in one life, but it's not going to clear all the karma possibly. Well, in this life, actually, let me rephrase that. We're supposed to be clearing all the karma in our lives this time before we leave.
I mean, that's the idea.
That's the idea because,
yes.
Honestly, we're not going to reincarnate here. We will go to another dimension regardless if we die or if we make Merkaba. I'm planning on bypassing death and resurrection.
How about if somebody doesn't make either in the tree of life?
Well, they'll go to wherever their soul family is. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I really know as a medium that your family's going to be there for you when you die. You're not going to just wake up into this empty space. There's going to be loved ones there waiting for you. There's going to be a place for you at the dinner table. You just don't go off into a void.
I've heard different,
depending upon your soul. I mean,
yeah,
if you're
I was gonna say,
if you're son of Sam,
people,
well, I don't know where you're going.
Well, some people say that they died and then they only saw darkness and that they didn't go anywhere. And I mean, I feel like it's contingent, right? On
well, it's the two sides of the coin.
Yeah.
You have those people have these great experiences that died, or in a coma for a year, and they were in heaven.
Ancestors are waiting. Everything.
Yeah, I feel for those who didn't have the positive experience that maybe there's something going on with them.
So let me ask you, so when it comes down to Qabala, what about the afterlife that is specific to this?
Well, and again, in knowing this information and studying this information, when it comes to the afterlife, knowing the God's names is going to be the most important thing for you. The second information there is the name of the angels in the afterlife, or let's just say the next dimension. And you've accomplished these things of mercy and severity and strength and glory, foundation, victory. I mean, you've got all these things balanced in your life.
But do they describe it in any way? Like, do they describe it differently than
heaven?
No.
No, they don't give you a Christian version of heaven. Now, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. There's a heaven right above us called the 4th dimension. Now, these ancestors are here now living in the 4th dimension. They're not going to go to the 5th dimension until we do. So they're still in this galaxy with us. They're here stuck, waiting for us, and that whole dimension is. And then we'll go to the 5th dimension. But yeah, the 4th dimension's here, and that's where we're going. That's where the angels live, and all these deities. And in Qabala, it's not the big bummer, because they tell us that those who have trained in tarot and oracles, who are pneumaticoids, which is what we are, we're mystics working for spirit.
Pneumaticoid, there's that word again.
Yeah. Those of us who are working for spirit will be working for Yahweh with other life forms and species on the other side. We're here to promote the light and to promote spirit. I'm here now promoting my philosophy on the tree of life, and that's my philosophy. Mm-hmm. And this is what I live by, and it's worked for me and those around me and the people who follow me. So now I want to remind everybody that we have my album out there called Time Has Come by Travis Tidwell. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora. What else is out there?
YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
Yes, yes.
Under
Travis Tidwell
what is it under, Athena?
podcast.
Well, go to Travis Tidwell podcast and definitely get me. Somebody loaded my album up on YouTube, and it's under the word topic. You go to Travis Tidwell topic on YouTube. Okay, Ashley's going to go there now.
I'll let you know, guys. So you do pop up on Travis Tidwell topic. However, you're about like 8 people down after Steady Peace by the country singer.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course, that country singer. He's been kicking my ass.
Can we play
everywhere
a
I
little
go.
bit?
Go ahead, please do.
Okay, so we have Peace in the Temple. Okay, that one has 128 views. Let's listen.
I didn't even know that.
Hold on.
I didn't even know it had that kind of views.
Yod hey vod hey, Yod hey vod hey.
Wow. Now, that is a God name chant that we do at every gathering in Sacred Dragon. And it's a God chant that's known to a lot of the Hebrews and people out there studying the mysticism of Qabala. And it's a very beautiful chant. It's God's sacred name in Hebrew. And right now the girls are going to break off and do their own thing. So we have the girls chanting. We have the boys chanting God's sacred name. And it's one of the most beautiful chants out there. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to have to go there and download those songs to my channel, which I can do. Athena, make a note of that
People
right now.
are liking
Do it now.
this, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah. You have a few likes on there.
Oh, get down.
Yes.
Get down, James Brown. Shit. Who's one of my favorite? I saw James Brown in 1969. And he was the baddest MF I've ever met in my life on stage. And nobody danced like him back then. They threw a strobe light on him, man. Are you joking me? He made Michael Jackson look like an amateur.
That would have been a sight to see.
No, and I'm not joking because Michael Jackson's got some smooth moves. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, no, I agree.
But he can't do it for hours. He does the same thing. This guy just breaks it down in so many different ways. I mean, strobe light. It's back in the day, 1969, ladies and gentlemen. He was one of the 7th wonders of the world, and he is still in my life the godfather of soul. Period. When you go to my playlist, I got the Great Payback on there, baby. Sex Machine. What's the other one, Gina? Athena?
Gina.
She goes, I don't know. Athena,
Hey,
what is
Gina.
it? Yeah. What is it? What is it, Athena? No, we don't want that name here. What is it, Athena? Anyway, yeah, I love James Brown. I just think he's the bomb still to this day. But going back to the Qabala, yeah, so that's, get the book, Simplified Qabala Magic. Go on my website. If you're thinking about joining a group and you're looking to study the mysticism of Qabala, I'm doing Zoom classes. When I get this thing launched this month, even before then, you can contact me at travistidwell at podcast@gmail.com, or you can comment me here, but you can get a hold of me. And if you want to study, go to travistidwell.us. That's the website.
Hit subscribe.
Go to the website, man, and you can join Sacred Dragon. It's a little pricey. Ain't going to be cheap, but you get every dime for what you pay for here.
And you're very consistent. Like, you're very hands-on, too. So if anyone has a question, you're so readily and available to help everybody. You do take your time to explain things. So if you're looking for more of a one-on-one experience, where you can learn, well, in comparison to most teachers that are online, okay? But, he does have a life. But definitely, if you have a question, shoot him that email. It'll all be worth it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, for sure. I've been doing the Merkabah class for 21 years consistently now. I've been doing my meditation that I do every first Wednesday of the month for about 25 years consistently now. So I've been doing this for 32 years, but it took me a while before I became grounded and got my foundation, you know what I'm saying, and everything. It does take time when you're living in your car and you quit everything you knew and you're just out there trying to make a dollar, trying to survive, And,
Not saying that'll happen to everybody, but I think when you want to be in service of spirit for others, you're going to go through some shit. I mean, if you're just trying to
unfortunately for me, my
practice.
teacher said, hey, look, it's time for you to quit your job. And I go, why? He goes, because you're either going to starve and die or starve and make it. And that's what they want to see. They want to see commitment. They want to see you go over those hurdles and and challenges, quickly, safely, easily. They want to see you process your depression quickly. They want to see you, process the negative energy you just had contact quickly. They want you to use the 10 stages of consciousness to think about higher things and learn about incense and aromatherapy and the tools that you can get through the metaphysics and the mysticism of Qabala to enhance yourself. I mean, look, we have incense on here, and different incense you can burn to help you also reach a different stage of consciousness. Mm-hmm. You don't have to carry that fucking luggage with you, unless you really like it. Now, if you go to that movie, What the Bleep Do We Know, there is this thing with the brain tides that people become addicted to drama. I know I did for a while. I mean, I haven't heard of Donald Trump on there. God, I missed that. I missed the drama. I don't like the guy. He's a bullshitter. I still missed the drama, I was like, because I got addicted to it,
A lot of people did.
Yeah,
Millions of people.
I got addicted to the news, I'm an addicted person, but in the news, yeah. So, no, I mean, it's just one of those things. But we learn that through, first of all, becoming one-on-one with our source, learning his name, praying to him in his name, episode 36, then at some point that you're connecting to your source. You're becoming one-on-one with your source, and that's going to make you feel so good. When you say, all my angels come close to me now. Ariel, that includes you. That's my angel. And if you don't know your angel, you say, all my angels come close to me. Okay, angels, this is why I called you today. I need money.
And this shouldn't be the first time anyone's hearing this.
You
say this often on
I
every
say this,
single,
because this is the spiritual life, ladies and gentlemen.
Enough,
And I created this show to help you become spiritual, to empower you like I'm empowered. Because money and everything, baby, make no mistake, money come and go. But your emotional body, your consciousness, your rational mind, your intellect, all that connected, no, that's forever.
It is.
And you want to be very careful how you utilize your brain, your intellect, your rational mind, and your emotional body with your intuition. You see, I can use my intuition with my emotional body. I can use it with my rational mind. I can use my intuition with my intellectual body. I mean, there's different ways I can use my intuition. And really that's been taught to me by the 10 stages of consciousness. And so for those of you out there looking, it's Simplified Qabala Magic by Ted Andrews. And how long have we been here, baby? Okay. We're going to wrap this thing up. I want to thank Ashley for being here tonight.
Thank you very much.
Remember, It's Time Has Come on Spotify or iTunes by Travis Tidwell. Buy that album today. It's new age, cutting edge music with Qabala prayers on it. I want to thank my executive producer, Athena, for tolerating me always. And wishing everybody out there peace and love. God bless you, your family, your pets, your friends, everybody. God bless planet Earth.
So be it.
So be it.
Time has come to rearrange. Time has come for a change.